As Ted will tell you, and he's told us all year, folks, he keeps us abreast on what's going on in the local and regional film scenes. Going to meet one of his good buddies and a very talented guy by the name of Matt Ulm. Matt's going to join us and give us his take on 2019 in review. You're watching the year-end Cinema Chat special, and we're coming back after these messages. As people will tell you, if you're a film buff, you know that locally the state of film is in great shape, and it's because of our new guest joining Ted Haycraft and me right now as a local filmmaker. He's also a business owner. He's a native of Terre Haute, but he's been here the last 20 years. This is Matt Ulm. Matt, it is always good to see you. What's your take on the past year? Was it a decent year from filmmaking standpoint?
I would definitely say it was a great year for filmmaking here in the region. We've still got a lot going on in Kentucky because they had a tax credit, but we're hoping that we're going to get it back. Bevan is out and Bashir is in, and Governor Bevan unfortunately got rid of it, but a lot of my filmmaking friends down there is hoping that it's on the way back.
What do you think is, what excites you as a filmmaker going into 2020? But what, you know, it's a never-ending genre, right? I mean, it just changes almost constantly.
Definitely, and I think the thing that excites me most is the accessibility. I mean, the availability of the equipment, and there's so many people graduating even out of our local universities that are getting into filmmaking here in the region.
Are there misconceptions, and Ted, you can chime in on this, that people may have about local filmmaking? They may go, it's more than a mom and pop attempt, right?
They're getting really, the production values are getting really big. Sometimes I joke about how sometimes the credit sequences are almost elaborate and
as
the movie itself. Well, you know, here's and your main thing is cinematography, right?
Yes, sir.
And there is Matt working on the set. What movie is this?
This is actually a series that we shot down in Kentucky around the Bowling Green area called The Dark, and that's going to be coming out this spring, probably on online streaming. That's
what's happening here?
I'm getting strapped into a Steadicam out on set.
Steadicam. See, I mean, you know,
he's going into an airport.
It was a big deal when Stanley Kubrick got a Steadicam for The Shining. It was like it was cutting edge at that time, and it was super expensive. And now here he is. You know, where were you shooting that at?
Outside of Bowling Green.
Oh, outside of Bowling Green, and he's being strapped up for a Steadicam. No big deal. You know.
Yeah.
Who's a filmmaker or two that has inspired you? We know he loves Scorsese and Tarantino, as do I. But who was one or two that had an influence on you, saying, "I want to do this"?
You know, when I first started out, I was really into screwball comedies. So I was a big Mel Brooks and the Zuckers and the Abrahams who did the Naked Gun series. So those were probably the ones that hit home really. And I love the Blues Brothers too.
Do you ever study cinematographers? Have you ever?
Roger Deakins.
Deakins? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I love Roger Deakins.
Now, for somebody watching right now, both of you, what would be on your wish list to improve the local film scene in 2020? If we need more people to get involved?
Engagement and networking,
yeah,
I think, is getting people together.
What's the deal with the Indiana Filmmakers Network? What's the story?
So the Indiana Filmmakers Network is a statewide organization that has been here in the state of Indiana for 20 years, and we have 7 different hubs all across the state of Indiana, and we actually just had our holiday party last week, so it was a great opportunity to get everybody together and let them know what's going on, but also to share skills, share stories, and just keep the momentum going.
How long have you been working on The Dark? And you know, he mentioned about the budget. What's the biggest challenge in getting that thing made?
Just getting all of it's a lot of interlocking pieces, no matter the size of the project, and you can do a lot even with a little when it comes to money, as long as you're willing to invest the time in it. And I think just getting the right actors and the right crew together is always essential.
As Ted will tell you, the Victory International Film Festival, it's alive and well, and it's really improving thanks to people like Matt Ulm.
Thanks to him almost altogether.
Is that right? Well, we'll talk more about this wonderful part of the local film scene. You're watching the Midday Cinema Chat year-end special, and we're coming back, but first, listen to this. Again, Mike Blake along with Ted Haycraft and our special guest, Matt Ulm. Matt, putting on a local film festival like the Victory International Film Festival, first annual. Well, you know, not an easy task, and you were the guy behind it. What's your take on it now that it's in the past?
I think it was great. It was 4 locations spread up and down Main Street, including the Victory Theater, and we had a lot of engagement from our business owners helping to support it, but we had, I think, 500 people that showed up for our first year, had 120 films from 30 different countries, so we had a great variety of things to show people, all from the local level to internationally.
Is it tough to get quality films for something like this?
There's a lot of content out there. It does take a little bit of boot leather to go out and find these people and contact them for some of the people that were at Sundance and Cannes, things like that. But there's a ton of great films out there.
Well, I mean, tying into the local filmmaking scene, you know, now everybody everywhere is making films.
Right.
So now they want the little laurels that show that they played at a festival. So we're getting films. You were getting films from everywhere and from anybody. But again, the selection that would you were able to cherry pick some really cool ones that would maybe come onto the radar. And it's really fascinating. There was a lot of buzz. I would talk to people after between movies and showings on the sidewalk in downtown, and we were talking about what we saw. Are you going to see this one?
What's the one thing you liked most after seeing what Matt put together?
I love the venues and the after parties where we got a chance to talk to the filmmakers and assess what we saw during the day. There was and then using the WFIE building, it was nice. That's always a big issue, trying to find venues that you want to give justice and quality to these showings.
Now, in addition to the International Film Festival, you had the Road to Victory series continued. Film series continued. That's a fun deal.
Well, yeah, Matt came up with this idea. I think the whole idea is that you want to keep the your festival, kind of keep it on
the energy, keep the
buzz,
momentum going.
And he came to. I mean, I'm honored, and he's helped me. I'm basically kind of curating, picking the films. He may veto one or two, But so far we've had a really good time. We started out with like a James Bond film and a Cary Grant film, and then like one of the recent ones I loved a lot was Local Hero. We had some interesting conversations about it.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like, well, in fact, you and I were going at it on it.
Oh yeah.
Because like, well, does this really work or not? It was a quirky little film. So we have these little. It's free to the public. It's down at the library. Once a month, I'll be promoting it on Facebook, and there will be an events page to check out. And I'm thinking about some Richard Lester films, maybe some Soderbergh films down the road.
And don't you think the crowds get to the feedback? They like to take, like you say, stay engaged, right?
Yeah. And I think between what we're talking about, local filmmaking, regional filmmaking, the film series or the film festival, it's really just about people getting together that enjoy film.
Yeah.
It's no matter what your skill set and what you enjoy, it's camaraderie.
Right. Matt, before we let you go, The Dark.
Yes.
The Dark, right?
Yes, sir.
When you tentative date, and will you come back on Midday to promote it?
I will definitely come back. I love it here. Spring 2020 is what we're looking at.
Spring 2020. Hey, thank you. Again, we hope you have a great holiday season. Matt Ulm, and from Matt Ulm, a seasoned filmmaker, we're going to have a 14-year-old young man named Shepard Hyatt. He's going to join us when this year-end 14 Cinema Chat year-end special continues right after these messages.